So I want to touch on the subject, death. I know that seems like a dark subject to talk about, but death puts life into perspective. It makes you realize the real priorities of life. If you pay attention, death will be your greatest teacher. And people are worried about how many breaths they take in their lifetime versus how many times life took their breath away. That's the experience of life. It's not about more. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality that you have of life. It's just like in the gym and you're lifting the reps. It's not the reps you do that count. It's making every fucking rep count. If you're doing a bunch of bad reps, it's not going to do anything for you. Every day counts in your life. Making every day in your life matter will add up to a life fulfilled. You know, if we lose a loved one, it fucking hurts. But if mourning turns into a longer period of state, it's called regret, guys. Because you didn't do it right. Maybe you got a grandmother that you didn't take the time to go see. You didn't go visit when you had the chance. And now one day you got that phone call that they passed away, and now you don't have the opportunity to go see them. To say the things that weren't said, the experience that weren't experienced. So now you feel that sense of regret, and it hurts knowing that you can't go back in time, that you never hear their voice again. And it hits you like a truck. So now you realize how quick life goes by. And now with your other grandparents or your other loved ones, you take the time to go visit. You make the effort to call. You value the time now. It's called regret, guys, because you didn't do it right. You learn from that lesson and you don't repeat it. If failure we learn from and grow from, then go back at it and we don't repeat it, that's growth, man. We all make mistakes. We just don't try to repeat them. We learn from them. So the next person in your life that you care about, you make sure when they pass, that doesn't come with the same regret. That you did it right this time. You learn from the last time. Or maybe it's you going out this time. So you talk to them. You make sure everything is right. So when you do go out, they don't feel the regret. And you shouldn't have a fear towards death. Because for one, you can't control it. And when it does come, the only reason why you have fear is because you didn't do everything you wanted to do in this life. Life goes by so quickly. It's not about checking all the boxes and being a grandfather and doing it all. It's not about that. Because that's a luxury. And you don't have that right to live that long. All you have is today. That's all you got. Do you make the most of today? Do you make today remembered? Or do you let it slip by and be forgotten? Sit by the wayside. Do we want more time? Sure. Sure, I want more time to experience this beautiful thing we call life. It's a blessing. But if I'm not able to move forward one day, or I'm not able to move forward anymore, and I'm lying on my deathbed, I'm sure as shit not saying, fuck man, I didn't do enough when I had a chance to do it. I missed out. That's why living in this moment to the fullest is so important. If we live life to the fullest, a life fulfilled, then it's a celebration when we die, not a regret. There's an afterlife to this. And if you're not spiritual, or you don't believe in anything, get over yourself, man. Get over your ego. Because that there is an afterlife. Just believe that there's an afterlife, just for the accountability of the today. You know, in recap, death gives you an eye-opening perspective of what matters. It gives you an accountability, and it gives you a responsibility. The responsibility comes from people far better than you, that died far younger than you, to give you this opportunity to live today. We were born free. We live at the cost of many others before us. That freedom we have, you cannot take it in vain. There's a responsibility to your life now to live to the fullest, because the ones before you who gave theirs so you can live to the fullest, you can't waste it. So now you have the responsibility. It's not about you anymore. It's a much bigger picture. So get that through your head the next time you're feeling sorry for yourself. The accountability is that today matters. Just like running a marathon or getting ready for a competition. You're 90 days out. You have 90 days to prepare for this event. You cannot blow off today's responsibilities till tomorrow, because you just lost 1/90th of the chance to successfully engage in that marathon or that competition or whatever the event is. You lost it. Today matters. There's an afterlife. You will be judged to a much higher power. That judgment is judging you when no one else is around. It's you by yourself. It's keeping you honest in your day when no one is looking at you. It's making sure you do everything right It's an accountability to make sure you're ready for that day. Even if you're not spiritual, believe in that, because it makes today accountable all of a sudden. It makes it valuable. Otherwise, what's the fucking point of doing things correctly and doing the right thing? When I was told my dog had cancer, only had 3 months to live, I promised that the next 3 months would be the best 3 months a dog has ever had. We focused on the quality of life. So we didn't know how much quantity we were going to have, right? We were limited to that, to 3 months. So we're going to focus on the quality. By focus on the quality, we turned that 3 months into 33 months, right? We were blessed with extra time. Every day, every ball thrown, every time we went for a walk, it made those precious moments. I valued those moments so much because I didn't know when it was going to be the last time. So show up to life, man. Go for it. Show up to your life. And will you fail sometimes? I'm sure you're going to fail. We all fail. That's an experience of life. I've failed plenty of times, but I don't regret the failures. And why don't I regret them? Because I showed up and I went for it. And if I failed, I learned from that failure, which in return made me stronger years later. I look back on my life, guys, and I am so grateful for the successes that I had. But I am blessed for the failures, because the failures are really what created the strength for the success to come later on. Made me a better person. Be excited about life, guys. Stop being so scared of death and start living. Don't worry about the failures, whether you're going to go out and you're going to try a new endeavor and maybe you fail at it and you're worried about other people laughing at you. Let me ask you this. You know your dad? You know your grandfather? What's the name of your grandfather's dad? What's the name of his dad? And the dad before him? You probably don't remember their names. That's only 3 or 4 people ago. Not only do you not remember their names, but you don't know the failures they had. You don't know the successes you had. What I'm getting at this, guys, it means like we're all gonna die, right? Death is coming for us. I just explained that. So if you're gonna die and people are gonna forget you anyways, I know that sounds dark, but people are gonna forget you anyways. They're not gonna remember your failures. So why are you scared to try to go out and experience life? You have one shot, one fucking shot at this thing called life. And you're scared to experience it because you're worried about what Sally is going to say down the street or what your friend Joe over here is going to think of you. You know, the best way I explained it to one of my friends was, people admire their staircase. You have a staircase. You have this crystal staircase. Everyone has their own crystal staircase. And everyone is always comparing their crystal staircase to the person next to them. They're telling them how beautiful it looks and how it's not marked up and how it doesn't have any mistakes. You know, but every now and then you have the people who look at their staircase and they wonder, what the fuck's at the top? What's up there waiting for me? And they tell their friend, like, hey, I'm going to climb to the top of this staircase. I'm going to see it's at the top. Oh, no, don't do that, Rhett. Don't do that. You're going to scratch it up. You're going to muddy it up, man. The shoes you have on, you have cleats on, and there's mud on those cleats. You're going to scratch up this crystal staircase. So maybe you back off. Maybe like, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't climb this staircase. I don't want to mark it up. Look at theirs. Theirs is so pretty. I want to keep mine pretty too. But then you have the guy that looks down at his feet. He's got these muddy cleats on. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I got one shot. I might as well see what's at the top of this staircase. So he starts climbing, right? And as he's climbing, he can hear the cleats digging into each step. And he's looking at the step he's on, and there's mud all over it. And there's scratches on it. And Joe and Sally are yelling out, you're scratching it up. Look at you. You're making your staircase dirty. Why are you doing this? It was fine. Come back down. You know, some people might come back down once they had a couple failures, once they're making mistakes. You know, but then you have that person that's like, no, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to take the next step and the next step. And eventually they get to the top of their staircase. And when at the top of the staircase, they look back down. And there's no scratches. There's no mud on their steps. It was all an illusion. While they were there on that step, it looked horrible. It was a big mistake. But they kept going. They took the next step and next step. And when they got to the success, when they got to the top of their crystal staircase, they looked back and realized it was all just one big illusion. The failure is an illusion, guys. It's something you can learn from. It's not going to define you. No, you can learn from it, man. If you get knocked down in life and you're laying down, best advice I can give you, and most people say if you get knocked down, get right back up, get right back on your feet. No. If you get knocked down, stay there for a second. You know, you have a 10 count. If you're in a boxing ring, you get knocked down, you have 10 seconds. You don't pop right up on the first second. You know, it's like life. You get knocked down, lay there for a second. Think about how you just got hit. Think about how you didn't slip that and you got jabbed in the face, or you took a right hook to the face that knocked you down. Acknowledge the mistake you made. Learn from that. Then approach it differently. I hope that makes sense to you guys. You know, life is this one thing that we have. You know, we're all born, we're all gonna die, right? That's the one thing, or two things that we all share in this world with every living organism, is that there's a birth date and there's an end date. You have one shot. Your birth date and your end date. What matters is the little dash in between.